I figured I'd film this because it's better than taking photos. A lot of you had questions. All right, this is before I have sewed the lining inside the coat. Now, the lapels, the longest part of this entire coat is doing the tape and the buttons and the buttonholes. That's about the most time consuming. Now, you got to do all that first, and then you do it on one side before you sew the two parts together so you don't see any of the stitch marks. Now, down here, these buttons, they're not really connected to anything. The actual buttons on the inside, you either sew them in place, or you can do like I do and have a single leather strip or cord or whatever going through all the buttons and holding them in place. Now, the hook and eyes, you can see right here, the hook and eyes I've set in between the first two buttons and then in between the two sets. There is no distinct place where to put them. I just put them there based upon the French lottery uniform. Now, up here, again, all the buttons, including the one lapels, is all sewed before you put the lining in. Now, the wings, there's two layers, so you have to do the wings and the epaulets before you sew on the sleeve. So on the inside, it looks like that. Everything is together before you sew the sleeve. Now, down here, the pocket. This is what it looks like on the inside of the pocket, and it's the fake pocket that's on the outside. So you can see my buttons there already in place. But the actual pocket, the flap is not sewn down. The buttons hold it in place, and only the top of the bucket is sewn in place. The cuffs. Now, the cuffs, again, we decided to make the cuffs fake cuffs. They're not actually rolling. So you have the two buttonholes, and like everything else, they are sewed before you put the lining in. Now, the cuffs, I got to get it right so you look at it. The pointy part is actually on the inside of the sleeve. So you got to look at that. When the two buttonholes, all you need is two buttonhole tapes. They would be, if you look at it, there's the coat, so they would be like on the outside edge, and the point part would be on the inside edge, inseam. All right, now what else about this coat, this particular? Oh yeah, the tails. Let me flip it over. And this is what it looks like on the inside of the pleats. Now, the pleats, you have pleats in the back. These are sewed together, and there is a buttonhole at the very bottom. You have to sew that in place, but it's only on one side. You won't see it from the outside. Like this right here, you won't see it. Now, the other tail is, you're going to sew the lining to that tail, and I'll show you more when I sew in the lining. The lining on this one will actually be sewn over. You're not going to do the pleat on this side with the lining. The lining will actually be sewed over it. And I'll have to show it to you after I do the lining.